Hey Ratbags, it's Jade today with a quick guide for taking on the final dragon currently in early access in Runescape Dragonwilds. Yes, this is going to be a big feature of coming updates. I think there's going to be one dragon boss added pretty much with every major content drop, or at least a few more. But the first one is pretty challenging, although not that bad. Me and my wingman Raze took it out, and apart from me dying a bit stupidly, it wasn't that hard. But finding the materials to go ahead and craft the summoning horn was a bit more difficult, so I'm going to take you through them steps, the fight itself with some tips and what you get as your reward. So if you follow in the old wise man, eventually it will lead you to the fractured plains and you'll find a ghost pretty much in the centre where you can see the giant tower. So it's hardly really is something you can miss. It's probably the tallest and biggest structure on the map. You can go up to the tower straight away, but you won't actually be able to summon the dragon until you've crafted the summoning horn. The 5 bronze is relatively easy to get. It's one of the early unlocks once you get the smelt and furnace after harvesting some of the tin and copper in the first misty swamp that you come across. And then the other 2 items are pretty much at polar opposite ends of the map. You're going to need some of the dragon teeth, which you find in the Stormland Highlands, and then you'll need some of the special resin that you get from the bright blood in the swamp area, the second swamp, and that's pretty tough to get as you'll need a iron axe to go ahead and chop it, and you'll also need an iron pickaxe to go ahead and get the dragon teeth. So yep, you're going to be heading over to the blood blight swamp over to the east side. Now you will need anti-resistance potions. The anti-resistance food or the crunchies that you might have made won't be enough. That only helps with when you get actually hit by something like a poison arrow or poison attack, but this whole swamp is covered in more actual deadly poison. So we'll go over that in a little bit more detail, but we need to head all the way to the south of this biome. You can see where I've got actually a death marker, and that's where you're going to find the tree guarded by a bunch of the tough Aru, and yeah, it's pretty tough. I highly recommend you bring yourself a teleport or waystone and plonk it down on the bridge just outside. And then try and lure maybe one enemy at a time, as you'll find one of the Guru Druids, a Guru Fane, a whole bunch of the rats as well, and it can get a bit overwhelming. I'll just make sure you're always running around objects so you don't get hit by any arrows. But for sure, easier said than done. So once you clear them out, your best bet then is to obviously head for the tree, or maybe even sneak around, and you might be able to do it, and then go ahead and use your iron axe to chop it down. It won't necessarily work with the spell, it does minimal damage, so you might only be able to actually harvest some of the lower parts of the tree unless you go ahead and build up. And yet with the iron axe you should be able to break some open. You only need 1 piece, but I'd suggest you get a few, as you may want to repeat the boss fights, whether to level up or just get something to do while you're waiting for the next update. And yep, the poison potions, obviously hopefully you worked out by now, is the Harlander plant that you get in the first swamp alongside the mushrooms you also find there, and the clay that you can also dig up in that swamp as well to make the clay pots in the pottery. And if you somehow have missed making potions, then go and watch my potions guide where I go over everything else you need to know, including how to set up the cauldron. Now really, you should be doing the swamp last. That's because as I said, you're going to need iron, and you get that from the storm-touched highlands. All the way over to the northwest, this place is incredibly dangerous, filled with obviously lightning storms and more. Lots of Guru, some of the rams which are actually dangerous, so they'll try and hurt you as well, and probably yeah, the thunderstorms hitting on a regular basis. Now you can find food eventually that gives a reduction in damage from thunderstorms, but otherwise that might be a while away as you need the cooking station for that. And yeah, look out also for the triffid plants that can shoot electric bolts at you as well. These do damage to your health as well as reduce your stamina. And all over this biome you will find the iron deposits, but you do need an iron pickaxe to go ahead and mine it. And then you can use your magic spell if you level that up, which you probably have by now, to make life a bit easier. And while you're here you see these big bones, these are actually what you're looking for, although we're after actually a much larger one, as that's where we're going to get the dragon teeth needed. So you may come across some more of the skulls, but there's one guaranteed on the west coast of the Storm-touched Highlands, you can see marked by the X. These also do require an iron pickaxe, so you'll have to come here a couple of times perhaps, once you've cooked up or made one back at your base. Then back to the tower, place the horn once you've crafted it on the altar, and this big bad boy will come. Definitely recommend bringing plenty of poison potions with you and healing potions, the better ones if you can. Does a variety of attacks with this one, which is quite widespreading poison toxic attack on the floor, and you can do multiple of it. Especially multiplayer, it was really tough to actually find some spots. You can see there though it does dissipate pretty quickly, so hopefully if you're going from one side of the other to the arena, you can get him to leave maybe a small slip in the middle. You can try melee weapons to get close to him, but you might not necessarily be doing as much damage as you think, and he has an attack as well where he makes the spikes raise out the ground or fire in a line at you. Then he repeats his poisonous attack that he does from time to time, flying through the valleys and the rest of the biomes. I'm pretty sure he's got a weak spot on his head, but more so on his actual underside, the chest there. You can see it kind of glowing, or pretty much just by its throat. So yeah, these kinds of things do a huge amount of damage. You just got to take your shots and try and get a few hits in between. And then with the poison, you might find a tiny little spot. I hope you can try and avoid, but it will pretty much give you that poison cumulative and take a lot of your health down. So make sure you have got the best of poison potions on you. Do make sure you set up a fast travel point outside the tower somewhere, as your stuff will be dropped there if you do die, and you can quickly come back and finish the job off hopefully. And just show you guys how ineffective it is with actual melee. I tried hitting these actual feet, but it didn't seem to be doing actually much damage at all. So I highly recommend that you try and stick to ranged options like magic or with a bow. And also look out when it does die, because any attacks it does will still actually be able to hurt you. They don't disappear immediately. As I found out, dying literally after we just killed it. Go ahead and talk to the ghost again afterwards, and that's pretty much done, dusted now, until a new update adding a new dragon boss. Also, don't forget to head back to the old man inside the first zone in the ruins, and they'll give you a bunch of rewards as well. And you'll unlock the recipe for the Masterwork shield, the best shield in the game pretty much. You also get a tome of the Dragon Slayer, which gives 500 XP to some of your actual skills. But at this stage I'd maxed out quite a few of them, so I didn't really feel like it was that worth it. And inside your smithy you should find the recipe for it now to be crafted. Using the dragon's trophy head that you got, you'll need a vault core, some vault shards, 12 of them. Oh yeah, and you do get given an anti-dragon shield by the wise old man as well, so you don't have to worry about crafting that from scratch. In fact, if you die, you'll keep it on you always, because it's basically an unlosable item unless you actually actively drop it. So even when you die, it will stay on your body. I'm guessing because it's only a one-time reward from the old man the first time you kill a dragon. Now you can actually upgrade it, and that's what you're trying to do by adding the other ingredients like the dragon trophy, the vault cores and the vault shards. And this will give you 46 block. Like I said, I think it's the best shield in the game, which is about 5 or 6 more points than just the regular anti-dragon shield that you get before you upgrade it. And there you go, that's a little mini guide to taking on the dragon and getting a pretty unique shield. I'll be back for more RuneScape guides soon, and if you like the idea of dragons, why don't you come check me out on my main older channel, as I'm about to start up Oblivion, the remaster, a new playthrough of guides, gameplay and more. It's just come out stealth dropped. I've done a bunch of guides and videos on it already, so come check me out if you want to see more fantasy open world game action. Until next time, laters.